During the development of the Alamo map, it was originally going to be an endless map, but the fort was way too big for zombies to be a meaningful threat. After that, Nuber wanted the map to be a PvP map, but it necessitated a big server, and the game is limited to 20 players if you're not playing in the big server place. Builderman thought it'd be interesting if instead it was a bot survival mode like the Bloody Bayonet Gaming bot survival server on Mount & Blade Napoleonic Wars DLC. The bots are just a box on the server, and their AI uses a very basic computation model for complex behavior. They utilize two main finite state machines, one for their locomotion and the other for their attack state. Locomotion is just another way of saying how they get to move around and navigate the map and such. Similar to the zombies, the model of each bot is actually handled on the client. The server communicates where the bot is, what state the bot is in, and what state the bot's weapon is in. The client then uses that information to play the according animations for each state and action. The goal of them isn't exactly to simulate real players, they were made more to challenge actual players in a unique way. All bots have the same basic locomotion. They search for the closest player or zombie to attack, find the path to navigate to them, and then traverse that path. They also have mostly similar attack states, one for deciding what kind of attack to start, ranged or melee depending on the distance from their target. During the range state, they will wait until they're in range and can see their target. When they're close enough, they will aim, wait a bit, and fire if the target is still in range and can still be seen. Once they fire, they will reload their weapon. If their target gets too close, they will transition to the melee state, interrupting any previous state for self-preservation. Bots with a bayonet will use their bayonet and try to keep at a distance until they are ready to thrust. Bots with melee weapons will attempt to charge the enemy and will only attempt to dodge if they're in between the prepare animation. When colliding with sapper buildings, they will go into the melee state to break it down until nothing is blocking their path. Officers function as an organization tool for other bots. They rally troops into a company and track their activity. Officers will command troops to stand in formation, to which this overwrites the bot's locomotion state. Officers average out all close enemy locations instead of focusing on a single player. Officers also override a troop's attack state, and they will command them when to aim, when to fire, and when to reload. When officers rally enough troops, they will first command their troops to assume the column formation. When in range of their target, they will command their troops to assume the line formation. Then volley fire, reload, and so on until all the targets are dead or are too far away, to which they'll start marching again. If players get too close to the officer of a formation, the formation will dissolve and attack the player. Officers create bounding boxes for their company and perform collision checks with nearby companies to make sure they do not collide. Officers have two ranks they can be assigned to: Captain, which commands a company, and Lieutenant, which marches behind the ranks and will take over command in the case of the captain being killed. After all the officers in a company are killed, the company will dissolve, and each troop will act independently. Even without an officer to rally and command troops, bots will act in ways that appear to be coordinated. When bots get in range of the enemy, they will very often line up and fire roughly at the same time. When bayonet charging, bots will often swarm the enemy together. This is mostly just a coincidence, except when they are independently moving around. They will do flocking behavior. This makes them align, cohere, and separate from neighboring bots. The advantage of the calling during marching makes them more maneuverable, and individual troops are less likely to get caught on obstacles in the level. Companies actually have a longer range to initiate engagement with the enemy than individual bots, and the line formation provides an advantage of spreading the shot over a wider area, making it more likely to hit the enemy.